Hello, Rick Bell here with Build Your Own Watch. Today I'm going to give you the promised review of Barton watch bands. Now, as you may have heard, Build Your Own Watch has switched exclusively to Barton watch bands to offer with our Series 1 watch and Series 1 watch kits. We did this because we wanted to improve the product, and while the Hadley Roma straps that we provided before were pretty good, we definitely felt we could up our game. So I began a search for a new band to offer with the watch, and I'd had a Barton silicone strap in the past, a year ago or more maybe, but I recognized the name, I remembered them, but I never tried their leather. I just had that silicone strap and I was really happy with it, but I never really crossed my mind again till I came across them again and took a look at the leather straps that they are offering, the NATOs, and was impressed. So I ordered a few in and tested them out and was even more impressed once I got the leathers actually in my hand. So we are offering each one of their 4 colorways with the Series 1 watch that have one variation really. So they come in a black, a espresso color, which is a gray, kind of a grayish hue, a gingerbread color, which is somewhat of a tan, and a saddle leather, which is a brown. And in either colorway that they have, you can get it with this contrast white stitching, they call it linen, or they also have it with matching stitching. So just to give you an example, here is the saddle leather with matching saddle stitching as opposed to the contrast stitching. So we're offering those 8 leather bands with the Series 1 watch kit. Now the great thing about these bands, in addition to the quality, is they do feature quick release spring bars, and I'll show you those in a second. But just to go over just how great these bands are, and I tell you, I've become an addict of Barton bands ever since we started working with them. I've been buying them for all my other watches as well. You're welcome, Barton. They are just right out of the box. They kind of feel like you've worn them forever. I mean, they just fit your wrist. There is no break-in time. They're very soft. 2 of the bands, the espresso version and the gingerbread version, kind of have this, I don't know, this suede quality to them that's really nice. And the black and saddle leather kind of have a smooth textured leather on the outside, as opposed to this kind of, I'll show you one of the espresso version, this kind of suede quality to it. I mean, it's not exactly suede, but it definitely feels more plush, and it's just wonderful. So the leathers are fantastic. The leather itself's great. It's really soft. The packaging, not that the packaging really makes the difference. The product that's inside, that's what I care about, but it does come in this, great packaging. Just everything about them is top notch. So Barton, also, just to give you some background, they are a brand that is headquartered in Austin, Texas, and I've dealt with those guys a lot in getting this together for Build Your Own Watch, and they are great guys to deal with. Their customer service is fantastic. Just my entire experience with them has been great, in addition to this fantastic product they have to offer. So apart from it just being phenomenal leather and a step up from the Hadley Roma straps we were using before, all their leathers include a quick release spring bar. So you have this little tab on each side of the strap, and you simply pull it back and your strap is off, which is fantastic. So it was that easy to take them off. You don't have a strap tool that you have to deal with. You don't have the fear of potentially scratching your case. And you can make those quick changes with your watch that, makes your watch itself even more versatile, because, I might be wearing this leather strap to the office, but then maybe that night I'm going to the pool with the kids. So what do? I move to a Barton silicone strap. which also has the quick release system and comes in a ton of different colors. Now let me show you just how quick it is. So here's 12 o'clock on the watch. I'm going to turn around. I usually put the opposite end where the tab, the opposite end where there is no tab, I put that in the lug first, and then you simply pull this tab back, snap it into the watch, and it was that easy to change over to a silicone strap. I mean, in seconds, the watch is pool worthy, or it's worthy to go, I don't know, maybe to a hot baseball game or some place where I wouldn't, or some activity or place where I wouldn't typically want to wear a leather strap. And it's that versatility, and just combined with the quality. I mean, I wish I could convey through video how soft and how phenomenal this silicone feels. I mean, it's something you just got to experience. So I mean, I just highly recommend these guys for, the quality of the product, and just the features of the product is far beyond what you get on most bands in the market for, by the way, in many cases, a lot more money. And those guys were great enough to work a deal with us. Anybody buying a Series 1 watch kit will get a discount for their next order of a Barton strap, because I think once you guys get used to this quality and these features on a strap, you're going to want to order more, and you're going to want to be able to change up your watch often, as I do with all my watches. So I've already kind of shown you, they've got these silicone straps, which are great, and it comes in tons of colors, more than I can name right now. I've already named off all the leathers that they have. They also came out with, and this is kind of new for them, these canvas straps. And I'm going to show you this canvas strap on my Nomos here. Yes, I do own Build Your Own Watch, but I do also like watches in general, so I buy watches, just like I'm sure all you guys do. This is a disease once you get into these things, and before you know it, you just can't stop thinking about watches all the time, and buying watches and trading watches, and you guys probably know the drill. But here's their nice, gosh, just great rugged quality canvas strap. And just like their leathers, just like the silicone, you've got this awesome quick release system on a canvas strap that comes in a ton of different colorways as well. And boy, this just takes my Nomos and kind of, I wouldn't really call the Nomos a super dressy watch, but it's kind of dressier with the leather band that came with it on it. And this kind of just dresses it down, makes it casual, makes it ready for summer. And within an instant, I'm ready to go out, or maybe I'm going to work. It's off. There's 12 o'clock there. Now, if I've been using a spring bar tool, this would take longer. I'd be a little bit worried about making a mistake. And you just don't have that fear with these Barton straps. So, I mean, not only is it a great product that is easy to change up your style, it's something that you can quickly swap out without worrying about that accidental scratch from a spring bar tool on your nice new watch. So I just really couldn't be more pleased with their entire system that they have going for them. And they do a lot more than just these straps with these quick release spring bars. And in all the quick release straps, they have an 18 millimeter, a 22 millimeter, a 20 millimeter, and I think in the silicones they have a 24 millimeter strap widths. But they also do some NATOs, which, the guys over there have really just, they've thought things through well. And I'm going to show you why here. So here is, let me get all these watches and straps out of the way. Here's one of their nylon NATOs. Kind of what you would expect. You know, it's typical nylon NATO, but they added their Barton flair to it, which is just basically good engineering. So here's their NATO strap, and you notice you got the typical metal bar over here, but you don't have the two metal bars that you would normally see on a NATO. And plus, this NATO is 10 inches long. Usually NATOs are a lot longer, which gives you this fold over on the other side of the strap that, you know, for me, my wrists are 6 3/4 inches. I kind of have smaller wrists. I've always felt that NATOs, while I just loved them, kind of look ridiculous on me sometimes, because there's this big hunk of stuff sitting on the other, sitting on the opposite side of my wrist. Well, let me put this Barton NATO, sorry to give you a blank screen there for a second, on my girly wrists here and show you what I mean. So here's my Bernhardt diver on a NATO, which is a thick watch, which is another reason, as a thin-wristed guy, NATO's kind of pop the watch out taller, and this is already a thick watch. I believe it's over 13 millimeters. But look at this side. I mean, look at that. There is not this big hunk of stuff, and even just the strap itself really isn't coming out that far. I don't know how I can show you this to you. I mean, I could almost leave it. I don't really even need to tuck it back. I've never had that experience with a NATO, that I didn't have to have this massive tucked ball on the other side of my wrist. So, there it is. And that just looks great. I mean, it's not just the quality of the strap, it's the way they've engineered every one of their straps that I just love them. I fell in love, and like I said, I've become an addict to them. I've bought tons of the straps for all my different watches. That's why I'm so happy we're doing this for the Series 1. But guys, if you've, even if you're not considering a Series 1 and you're just a watch guy and you've not heard of Barton, I mean, check it out. It's awesome. So here's this NATO, kind of typical NATO, other than the way they sized it. And although, by the way, if you do have a bigger wrist, they do make an 11-inch version of their NATO straps that, will fit a bigger wristed guy, but I'm sure just as comfortably as it's fitting my little wrist. But they also have these leather NATOs, and they are phenomenal. So this is the gingerbread color that I mentioned before, which is kind of a tan. And look at this. I mean, it's soft, but look how thin that is. Whenever I've used tried to put a leather NATO on my watch, typically they just don't fit between the lugs and or between the spring bar and the case. They just don't fit like a NATO does. So this leather is no thicker, maybe barely, maybe 30-40% thicker than this nylon. So I'm going to switch out my nylon here on my Bernhardt. And I would have done this on the Series 1. I apologized, but I wanted to get this review done, and I didn't have a 22 millimeter Barton Leather NATO to show you on the Series 1. I assure you it's going to look great, and I'm going to get some in here soon, and I'm going to put it on it for you guys to see. Maybe we'll take some pictures or something, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and install this. Again, look at the lack of metal gear and stuff coming off this leather NATO, and it looks great on this watch. Fred Amos, if you're watching, your Bernhardt watch looks great on a Barton NATO. So at any rate, I'm going to put this on and show you with my little wrists. And I tell you, this is absolutely the first time my little 6.5 inch or 6 3/4 inch wrists has put on a leather NATO, and it has not looked ridiculous. And here it doesn't. It's tight fitting. There isn't a big flap of stuff on the other side. I love this. I'm wearing it all the time with this watch. And I even bought a black one too to go with it. I loved it so much. So Barton has so much to offer, not just for build your own watch customers, but just watch lovers in general. I had to share it with the community. I had to share it with our customers. But the great thing is getting a Barton band with your Series 1 watch kit means you have all these other options in the future with this quick release spring bar that allows you to switch things up and just enjoy your watch more like I enjoy mine. So have a good day, and feel free to comment. And as always, if you're building a watch, enjoy it, and I hope you have fun.